Coming up tonight, Russian journalist is facing up to 7 years in jail after comments made on her weekly radio show.
SUNY Oswego's President Deborah Stanley sent out a mass email addressing the outreach preacher in the Quad last Wednesday.
And the officer involved in the death of Eric Garner in 2014 is filing a lawsuit against the NYPD.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Peter Wendler.
And I'm Stephanie Stoiko.
A Russian freelance journalist has been arrested for, quote, publicly inciting terrorism, end quote, on her weekly radio commentary show. The journalist, Svetlana Prokotreva, is now facing up to 7 years in jail. The New York Times reported even the Kremlin's own Human Rights Council protested that Ms. Prokotreva had done no such thing and had been merely trying to explain the forces that push people towards extreme acts, not to encourage them.
Russia isn't the only country this week which has taken action against journalists and the media industry. Earlier this week, the Australian print media band together to black out their front pages in a call to action for media freedom. Michael Miller, the executive chair of News Corp Australasia, said, "Put simply, our governments don't want you to know a lot of what they're doing, and journalists are banned from telling many important stories you should know. Journalists around the world continue to fight for freedom of the press."
SUNY Oswego President Deborah Stanley issued a campus-wide email addressing the man in the Hewitt Quad who was screaming hateful speech in the name of his religion. Stanley acknowledged the members of the LGBTQ+ community who were specifically targeted and pained by the man's verbal tirade. Stanley stated in the email, quote, "Oswego is a special place where every member of our campus community deserves access to the richness of a SUNY Oswego education while feeling safe and encouraged to be themselves."
Police have arrested a man at Syracuse Hancock International Airport following his confession to possessing crystal meth while trying to board a flight on Wednesday. Michael J. Horton had been intending to travel to Colorado when TSA discovered a small amount of a white substance in his possessions and notified police. Horton is now facing charges for drug possession and was released from police custody today with a court appearance ticket.
Tensions continue to rise in Salve Village in West Syracuse after Salve Mayor Derek Bikey erupted in a furious display during the village board meeting yesterday. Whilst the meeting started out strong, it took a dark turn and ended with Bikey calling his board members babies and idiots and calling the village a laughingstock. This is the latest installment of an ongoing petty fight amongst the board members in Salve, which calls for Bikey's resignation. However, many residents have spoken out in favor of Bikey for standing up for himself.
Strange and troubling story out of New York City. Federal agents raiding a home that they say was being used in a bogus cancer cure operation. The raid was quite an undertaking, with the Department of Environmental Protection called in to remove drums of hazardous materials. Authorities say the suspects made $850,000 since the beginning of 2013. Naveen Dewal reports.
What was happening behind the four walls of Barbara Vale's house is astonishing for many on this street.
I walk by that house every day. I've never smelled anything.
No one knew until today when they saw federal agents raiding the Vale home. Her son Jason's directly behind as well, bringing in the moving truck to take out drums of hazardous materials they say was used to make and sell apricot seeds on this website. All a fraud.
They've just been very, very good neighbors, and I'm surprised.
A search of emails and PayPal accounts showed the duo made $850,000 since January of 2013 for the online sales, though prosecutors say the site, boldly named Apricots for God, had no merit. And get this, it's not the first time the pair has been caught. The 50-year-old former arm wrestling world champion was convicted back in 2003 for a similar fraudulent crime.
I'm very upset that somebody would try to dupe people into, when they're in a very bad situation and they're looking for help, that they would try to, sell something that probably is only going to relieve them of their money and not cure them of anything.
According to CNN affiliate WABC, Jason Vale was hospitalized following his arrest, with his bail set at $100,000. His mother was released on a $100,000 bond.
An overhaul of the New York State's bail system is causing growing concerns over re-victimization. The new system will enable defendants to file a motion with the court requesting to return to the scene of the crime to build their defense. However, Lieutenant Stephen Stockdale with the Warren County Sheriff's Office says it will be tough explaining to victims why they have to permit violent offenders back into their homes, considering that they can be arrested if they do not comply. The system is set to take effect in January.
The officer fired in 2014 for the illegal chokehold death of 43-year-old Eric Garner is filing a lawsuit against the New York Police Department. Former officer Daniel Pantaleo was shown on video using a chokehold on Garner, who said repeatedly he could not breathe. Pantaleo's lawyer is saying his termination from the NYPD is, quote, arbitrary, unquote, and that Pantaleo did not use excessive force. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio says the firing was appropriate.
This process was handled properly, and our lawyers are quite confident of that.
Pantaleo's lawyer says he will use legal appeals to try and get the officer reinstated.
This morning, 25-year-old Jessica Cameron provided testimony in Supreme Court against her ex-boyfriend who set her on fire in a malicious attack last December. Cameron told the jury that during an argument, her ex-boyfriend Jonathan White covered her with gasoline and set her on fire. Following the incident, Cameron had third-degree burns to her hands and face. Burns so severe some of her fingers required amputation. Cameron endured 10 surgeries due to her injuries. White is charged with second-degree attempted murder and first-degree assault. Coming up later tonight, Mark Zuckerberg takes a hit at Capitol Hill regarding Facebook political advertisements.
And a Phoenix family has a close run-in with a red light runner.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Michael Brown. What can we expect, Mike?
Yeah, guys, it's honestly, there's not too much to talk about right now. On radar, we have some clouds in the area with the precipitation we saw earlier today moving off to our east. So right now, just mainly cloudy skies, maybe a few sprinkles, but honestly, that's about it, just some clouds. But now, let's take a look at our today's highs. Here in Oswego, we got into the upper 50s, but areas around us got into the lower 60s, like 64 in Oneida in the lake, and in 57 around Adams. With these temperatures being around average for this time of year, maybe a little above average in some places, what can we expect coming up for the few days ahead? I'll have that right after the break. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Michael Brown, here to look at your weather and what to expect for the rest of your week. I just wanted to start off real quick, taking a look at the nation. We're seeing some snow, actually, in northern Texas right now. This is pretty rare for this time of year, as you might think. And I was looking up some information before. There's been accumulating snow in northern Texas only 7 times in their recorded history. Pretty crazy. But now, let's take a look at Oswego. Looking at our current radar, you can see, as I said before, just mainly some cloudy skies that we're dealing with. The rain that we were dealing with a little bit earlier has fallen apart, pushed to our east. So as of right now, no rain to worry about. But now, taking a look at our almanac for the day, we reached a high around 59 here in Oswego, which is a tiny bit above average, not too bad. But some of the area pushed into the lower to mid 60s. So overall, as the region, we were a little bit above average. But the low this morning, being in the mid 40s, is about where we should be, maybe upper 30s, lower 40s for this time of year. But we are nowhere close to this 78 that we saw in 1963 for the area. Wow, that's really warm. So now let's take a look at our current temperatures. The majority of the area is in the lower 50s to upper 40s, with areas like Phoenix around 48 and our cold spot Lowville around 45. And now taking a broader look at our state, you can see it's mainly the same picture, with areas around Olin and Buffalo pushing into the lower 40s, and warmer spots near Albany in the middle 50s right now. But now let's take a look at your futurecast. So now going into tonight, we can for around 10 p.m., temperatures falling into the mid 40s for some areas, around 50 here in Oswego. Expecting just some clouds, no precipitation, but those clouds do build towards your morning commute. Around 8 a.m., we're expecting temperatures in the lower 40s, with cold spots being Watertown and Harrisburg actually getting into the upper to middle 60s, 30s. But now let's go into the afternoon. We can see these clouds start to build, and we have some showers making their way into our south and eastern areas like Oneida Lake and Phoenix, with temperatures in the middle 50s, not too bad. But as we go into the afternoon, we can expect these showers to become a little more widespread. I'm really not expecting this to be too heavy, but just some moderate showers for your evening commute back home for your Friday. And if you're going out on Friday night, you can see that it's just mainly scattered clouds with temperatures falling into the mid 40s for the area. We can maybe see a spotty shower here or there, but for the overnight tonight, or overnight tomorrow night, we're just expecting maybe a few spot showers, but mainly just cloudy. But those clouds for Saturday do clear out for your Saturday morning if you're going out. Temperatures are a little chilly, getting into the low upper 30s in some areas and around 40. And as we go into your Saturday afternoon, pretty nice afternoon with mainly sunny skies. But as we go into the evening Saturday, we can expect these clouds to start building in and temperatures being around 50. Now, let's take a recap. Going into tonight here for Oswego, we can expect calm winds, temperatures falling into the middle 40s. And same thing for the majority of the area. The winds won't be much of a factor tonight. But as we go into tomorrow, those temperatures will stay. They won't rebound too much because of this rain, the showers that are pushing in for the afternoon. So the majority of the area is only going to stay in maybe the upper 40s to low 50s. Here in Oswego, I'm expecting a light north wind. Not too much for the wind to talk about, but the rain, lower 50s, just showers, shouldn't be too big of a deal. And now let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. You can see those showers that I was talking about for Friday, and then Saturday actually dries out and looks like a decent day with those clouds building in. But Sunday, more showers come in, and then for your week, expecting some mostly cloudy conditions with a cooler outlook for the end of the week. I'm your Storm Team 10 meteorologist, Michael Brown. More news and sports after the break.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. The impact of the impeachment inquiry continues as President Trump has announced he is halting all aid to Ukraine. As a politically disorganized and militarily weak country, Ukraine has relied heavily on aid from the United States in its struggle with Russia. Ukrainian officials said that American military aid suspension signaled weakness just as they were trying to protect strength negotiations with the Russians and needed solid backing from Washington.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg testified on Capitol Hill this past Wednesday. The hearing was initially set to discuss Facebook's attempts at creating its own cryptocurrency, but Zuckerberg ended up being grilled on political ads and other grievances against the social media platform. CNN's Christina Al-Sisi reports, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg facing the fury of lawmakers from both sides of the aisle in grueling questioning for 6 hours on Capitol Hill, Democrats quickly zeroing in on the social media giant's new political advertising policy.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg facing the fury of lawmakers from both sides of the aisle in grueling questioning for 6 hours on Capitol Hill. Democrats quickly zeroing in on the social media giant's new political advertising policy.
You announced that Facebook would not be doing fact-checking on political ads, giving anyone Facebook labels a politician a platform to lie, mislead, and misform the American people, which will also allow Facebook to sell more ads. Your claim to promote freedom of speech does not ring true.
Zuckerberg struggling to clarify what the new policy would do.
Would I be able to run advertisements on Facebook targeting Republicans in primaries saying that they voted for the Green New Deal?
I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I think
So
probably.
You don't know if I'll be able to do that?
I think probably.
Do you see a potential problem here with a complete lack of fact-checking on political advertisements?
Facebook says it does not fact-check any political ads. Instead, it relies on third-party fact-checkers.
So you won't take down lies or you will take down lies? I think it's just a pretty simple yes or no.
Congresswoman,
I'm not talking about spin. I'm talking about actual
yes, in most cases, in a democracy,
Okay.
I believe that people should be able to see for themselves what politicians that they may or may not vote for
So
are
you
saying,
won't take
judge
them
their
down.
character for themselves.
So you won't take, you may flag that it's wrong, but you won't take it down.
Lawmakers repeatedly grilling the 35-year-old billionaire about Facebook's handling of election interference and data privacy.
I get that I'm not the ideal messenger for this right now. We faced a lot of issues over the past few years.
One Republican accusing Democrats of, quote, bullying Facebook to be a fact checker.
Will you commit that Facebook will not censor any political ad placed on your platform or in support of President Donald Trump?
We believe that people should be able to see for themselves what politicians are saying.
Zuckerberg also questioned about this deepfake video of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi that slows down her speech, making it seem like she's slurring her words. Zuckerberg admits that it took Facebook too long to respond to it and acknowledged Facebook is working to identify and take down similar videos.
Deepfakes are clearly one of the emerging threats that we need to get in front of and develop policy around to address.
Even though the hearing lasted for more than 6 hours, the committee's ranking Republican member, Congressman Patrick McHenry, said he is not sure the committee members had learned anything new.
Surveillance video footage of a transgender immigrant who died in ICE custody may have been deleted. 33-year-old Roxana Hernandez of Honduras died last May, and attorneys say the footage could be key evidence in revealing the events leading up to her death. Attorney Andrew Free released an email exchange between officials that indicated surveillance footage was not preserved. Facility officials say their cameras automatically overwrote the video, and Albuquerque-based ICE officials stated the requested video is no longer available. The footage is held in memory up to about 90 days.
The Uluru Rock in Australia will be made off-limits to visitors as of this Saturday. Earlier today, tourists scaled the rock for the final time. Uluru is considered sacred to Indigenous Australians who feel the way tourists treated the rock was disrespectful. The use of the Uluru Rock by foreign tourists was even compared to the desecration of a church by some tribe members. The ban that takes effect this Saturday was first announced in 2017, although there was not a significant spike in tourism at the time of the announcement. Uluru Rock tours have been packed in recent weeks.
A truck containing 39 dead bodies previously believed to have come from the United Kingdom from Bulgaria had in fact arrived from China. The truck was discovered yesterday 25 miles east of London in the Waterglade Industrial Park. Since the bodies were discovered, police have questioned the truck's owner and have launched multiple raids in Northern Ireland in an attempt to gather more evidence. 38 of the bodies in the truck were adults, one was a teenager.
A close call for a family crossing a street in Phoenix. Police have released video of the frightening moment last week when a driver ran a red light and almost hit the family. Nicole Valdez reports.
It happened more than a week ago.
This video pretty much speaks for itself.
The sign said go, and this family of three stepped onto the crosswalk on 53rd Avenue and Indian School. But not even a minute later, this Jeep Renegade comes barreling towards them.
It sends shudders down my spine to think of what might have happened to this family.
Then, just seconds away from a hit that could have killed them, the driver in this Chevy Cruze slams into the side of that Jeep, and that family walks off without a scratch. Police say 23-year-old Ernesto Oveso jumped out of his Jeep and took off, but someone who saw this all go down went after him.
And he started following Oveso, and at one point Oveso told him to get away and approached him and actually pulled out a knife and stabbed at the driver through the window.
Police say Oveso was drunk and a wanted man with at least 4 different warrants out for his arrest.
Police have since released updated information saying the suspect is actually 28 years old, not 23 as previously reported. Oveso has been arrested and faces charges for DUI, aggravated assault, and prohibited possession after a gun was found in his Jeep. The female passenger has not been located. Coming up in sports, Owen Gallagher.
Owen, can you give us a quick preview?
Yeah, guys, we got a lot going on, especially here on campus. Family and Friends Weekend means a couple of games for big Laker teams and some playoff pushes for the soccer team as well. And then, of course, we got highlights from the NBA. Nets and Knicks were in action last night as they opened their campaigns. And, of course, the World Series coming up. We got a preview of that game as well. Stay tuned after the break. I'll have the full report. You're watching WTOP 10 Nightly News. Welcome back to 10 Sports. I'm Owen Gallagher. The Oswego men's hockey team has just one more exhibition game this weekend before the official start to their season. Coming off a decisive 9-1 victory over Carleton Place last Saturday, the Lakers are looking to keep momentum going. Senior forward Derek Brown had a career night, posting a hat trick, but the Lakers will be facing a much taller task this time around. Let's get to their opponent. While this is the first and only exhibition for Nazareth, they are looking to turn things around after a disappointing 12-9-7 season last year. And while this game will not count towards any records, the Golden Eagles look to play the role of spoilers as it's Family and Friends Weekend here in Oswego. Puck drop is set for 7. And from the ice to the turf, the men's soccer team plays host to SUNYAC foe Fredonia Saturday. The Lakers are looking to rebound after a disappointing 2-0 loss to Plattsburgh. Oswego has clinched a playoff berth already, but Fredonia is on the outside looking in. They trail New Paltz just by 1 point for the final SUNYAC playoff spot. The Blue Devils are coming off of a heartbreaking 3-2 loss to Buffalo State, the team directly ahead of Oswego. So all signs point to a good one. Kickoff set for 3 on Saturday. And the Washington Nationals shocked the baseball world, taking not one, but 2 games in Houston to open up the World Series. Tomorrow night, after 86 years, there will be a World Series game in Washington. Anibal Sanchez takes to the hill, looking to silence the bat of the Astros. Now, Zach Greinke gets the nod for Houston, looking to swing momentum. Pitchers will now get a chance at the plate, and Greinke's no slouch, leading all pitchers with 3 home runs and 8 extra base hits this season. And the NBA season is just underway, and the New York Knicks travel to San Antonio to open the new campaign. R.J. Barrett making his long-awaited Knick debut, and for a while, things were looking good. The Knickerbockers had a lead going into the 4th quarter. It was short-lived, though, as LaMarcus Aldridge and company took over late, as San Antonio took this by a final of 120 to 111. R.J. Barrett finished with 21 points, shooting 9 of 13 from the field. Newcomers Julius Randle and Marcus Morris combined for 51 points and 15 boards. Things might not be too doom and gloom for the Knicks this year, but it's still early. So they take on Brooklyn tomorrow night at 7:30. And speaking of the Nets hosted the Timberwolves and their home opener. Brooklyn looking to show off Kyrie Irving, the new acquisition. Everyone's excited in Brooklyn. Kyrie starts us off there a little behind the back. Who said the mid-range game is dead? Kyrie Irving knocks it down. That is going to put the Nets, mixed up my New York sports teams there. Up 1 to the 4th, just under 7 minutes left. Shabazz Napier kicks it out. Karl Anthony Towns, cat for 3. What a beautiful shot there. T-Wolves up by 2 now. Just over 2 minutes left. Kyrie Irving between the legs, 3. Bobby Jack, that's good. We go to overtime. 2:31 left. Karis LeVert looking, hits Irving in rhythm shot. Keep an eye on Irving, though. He's going to miss, and he's going to relocate. Look at this, young ballers out there. Learn how to relocate. Your rebounders will find you. He buries the 3 in front of the Timberwolves bench. And now we got an isolation with Andrew Wiggins. Euro step over Allen, and he gets the tough floater to go. Kyrie Irving's going to have a chance. Time winding down. NBA Street level 2 game breaker. Oh, my goodness, but he doesn't get the step back to go. Nets lose in disappointing fashion at home. Kyrie Irving, 50 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 0 turnovers for the new acquisition.
Well, Owen, now this weekend is jammed packed for Laker athletics.
It is. We got an exciting time, but stay tuned. We'll have those covered here.
Oh, and, well, that's all for tonight. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for Impractical Improv up next.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.